Yeah, I am excited though.
I don't like it that we're touching feet.
Well, what can I do?
Hi everyone, welcome to Two Girls One Plot, Between the Pages. I'm Hannah.
I'm Darcy.
And today we are joined by Gemma Vale, debut indie author. So welcome to our podcast. You are here to talk about your book.
Yeah.
But before you talk about your book, we always ask our guests, and we kind of talked a little bit about this before we started recording, but we always ask about current reads.
Yeah. We do a little book check-in, if you have any, because obviously you're a very busy girl.
Yeah.
Busy. I've got two. So I'm reading Daughter of Crows by Mark Lawrence. Really enjoying that, but again, it's trying to find the time to read it. And then Blood Plagues by Anavrin J, which is very, very different to anything else that's on the market at the minute. But I'm really excited to see where it goes because I've heard really good things about it. So yeah, when I am able to read, those two are the ones I've got on the TBR.
So you've got two. You're reading two at the same time.
Yeah,
just depending on.
Whilst writing,
I've got no time.
Books, you know.
I've got no time at all, but I am actually reading two books at the same time.
You don't do things by halves, do you?
Well, I have a physical book that I like to read in front of the kids.
Right.
So I have that so that they don't see me on my phone all the time. And then at night time, it's in bed, Kindle. That's like 11 o'clock.
Yeah, I get that.
Also, you're a hybrid.
I'm a hybrid.
Yeah,
You do
I'm a
in
hybrid.
person and... Yeah, now you are, but you never were. Hannah didn't like physical books. She didn't like the smell.
Oh no, you gotta love the smell and the taste and the taste. No, not the taste. The smell. The smell and the feel.
You are very sensory, so
maybe I do taste it. Yeah. But yeah, I like a Kindle because it's the ease.
Yeah.
And it's like you're going on holiday, you don't have to pack a ton of books. But then I just don't want my kids to see either a phone or a Kindle. I'd rather them see a physical book.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. The Kindles are easy. I've got like a little gooseneck holder in the bed and a little clicker, so I can literally blanket up to there and then just click through. That's how I read your book.
I haven't even got the thing at the back, so I'm literally holding it like this. I need it.
You need the pop socket.
Yeah, the pop socket.
Grip.
That's it. I need that.
Yeah.
Well, you did sort of hint at that.
Oh yeah, sorry, go on. I stole your thunder.
No. Obviously, the last book that we have read is your book. We're very excited.
We were very honoured. So I was pure comfort reading. So I had it on my Kindle. I had my little clicker on, so I was just like full blankets reading.
Oh, nice. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm scared.
But we were talking before about like how reading it in bigger chunks is sometimes better to get the plot. And at one point, I sat down and got through like 40% of it in one.
No way.
I don't think I moved.
Wow.
I literally didn't move because I was just pressing the buttons.
I am scared because I know it's different. I know it's slower, and people have come to me in some of the reviews and said, "Why didn't you introduce this character earlier? Or why didn't you do this, sir? And why did you start so slow?" And I'm like, the character story comes to me as it comes. When the character sees another character, then their story comes into play. It's never a case, like I don't plot anything, so it's never a case of this person is going to come at this moment. It happens when it happens. And so it is very nerve-wracking to think it's very different. It's not commercially driven. It's not fast-paced. There's going to be probably quite a lot of people that won't like that immersive read. And that's scary. So knowing that you've read it and I'm like, what do you think? Please tell me what you think. Is it good? Is it not good? You know, all of those worries are coming out. And as it's nearing launch and people are listening to the audiobook on Audible, I'm like, oh my God, this is so scary to put a big part of your soul out into the world for people to judge, because people can be so mean, like really mean. So yeah.
But from what you've posted a few kind of reaction videos of you kind of like reading your reviews, and it seems like you're getting a lot of very positive reviews. There's a lot of people that really have enjoyed it.
Yeah. But there's still the few that don't, you know?
They're always the ones that you focus on, but...
Yeah, and I don't know why, but I've been looking at a lot of the well-known books out there, the Sarah J. Maas books, the Rachel Gillig ones, and I'm like looking at the 1 and 2 stars. And like they've got thousands of 1 and 2 stars, and they are amazing writers. So I'm like, if they've got 1 and 2 stars, you know, you're going to get it.
People have left negative reviews of the pyramids of Egypt. So I feel like you're fine.
Yeah, it'll be fine.
1 or 2 is fine. But I mean, yeah, I know what you mean. Like, it's so when we read it, it almost feels like like VR in a way, like like the virtual reality, because you can really you really kind of
picture it like insanely.
You kind of live the experience of it with the characters. And I suppose that, like you say, when you're not introducing characters sort of in parallel to each other, it's more kind of linear. I suppose if you're there as the character, then you're not going to know who else is involved in the story until you meet them. So I think in that way it felt like a VR experience, because you're sort of like quite in it and immersed in that character in that sort of linear way.
And it is very, like, I've been down a rabbit hole. I was talking to a friend, an author friend, and we were just comparing editing. And I was like, I edited 8 chapters yesterday. And she was like, well, how long did that take you? And I was like, about 3 hours. And she was like, what? And then it made me realise that actually my style of writing is very, very different. And so I've been down this huge rabbit hole of, I basically have a first draft, an only draft. And what I write doesn't really move much from what I've written. Like the opening prologue, that came to me in one go. And I just smashed it out. And then I was like, oh, okay, well maybe I need to research a bit more about synesthesia and what that means in terms of writing and blah, blah, blah. And then I was like, why am I having these really visceral reactions to this current book that I'm writing? And I was like, oh, it's because neurologically I am the character, and therefore my nervous system connects with that character. And so all of these, this person I'm writing is very troubled. All of those thoughts and feelings are coming out in me in such a visceral way that I think you can feel that on the page when I'm writing it, because everything is just so sensory driven for me. And so I was like, oh, maybe I am a little bit of a freak. I
That'll
don't
do it.
Yeah, that would do it. I was like, she's like, you don't put, because I don't architect it. There's no architecture with the writing. There's no, I need to have this plot, or this scene's going to happen, or that scene's going to happen, or there's this place that they're going to go to. It's just a case of, where is this character taking me? And sometimes I have a general idea of what's going to happen, but majority of the time it's, where are we going to go today? What is going to happen? What's going to happen from that to that? And I find that really exciting. But also, that's not a normal way of writing. A lot of books aren't that way. So that's why I think I've got a lot of nervousness of it coming out, and trying to ram it down people's throats before it's out, to know that this is different. This is not your... it's very introspective. It's not being told what the character's doing. You are the character. So,
but I think you've been very transparent with all of your followers throughout your whole journey of writing Daughter of the Night. Like, I think it's quite naive for somebody to pick that book up if they followed you for a while to expect that.
Well, you think that, but then some of the reviews have been, oh, it starts slow. And I'm like,
you're like, literally, what
I said it starts slow. I said it. But I think that's why I'm constantly just talking about it. I'm like, this is slow. You have to go in knowing that you have to just almost take a step back from the fast-paced plots that you're used to, and just enjoy the writing and just be immersed in that world. And it's not for everyone, and that's fine,
Maybe that will come across, because so with the audiobook, we're completely absent with these questions now, by the way. It doesn't matter.
We should say Daughter of the Night is out
10th of July.
10th of July.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, we haven't even said what the book is.
Sorry, that's my fault. I was supposed to do that. But what I was going to say was, maybe with the audiobook, because you're narrating it yourself, and you can kind of maybe put a bit more of that emphasis into it, how it's supposed to come across because you wrote it.
Yeah.
So maybe, it would be, obviously I've read it on the page, but it would be interesting to go to read it again, or go through it again, as the audiobook, to see if that's...
The immersive read.
Yeah. Or even do the both at the same time. That would be good.
So I have had some ARC readers that have left it late to read, and they've bought the Audible to do an immersive read, and they're like, oh, this is so different for an ARC to actually listen to the author talking about their own words. So I'm hoping that other people will feel the same, and that I've done a good job with the narration, because it's so scary doing narration.
Yeah, I can imagine that would be quite a different experience. But I mean, do you know of any other authors that have narrated their own books? I'm not aware of it being a common thing, but I'm not...
I know that some have.
Yeah.
But I don't think I can't name any.
Yeah.
But some people have said to me, oh, I love it when an author narrates their own book, and I'm like, well, I don't know who
Yeah,
any
who
of those
has done
people
that?
are. Yeah.
Maybe some like celebrity authors and stuff.
Yeah,
Maybe.
well, they will probably, I imagine.
Yeah, maybe. I'm not sure.
But I don't think Sophie's doing her audio.
We had an author on, was it last month, a couple of months ago? Contemporary romance author. But yeah, no, I don't
She's
think
traditionally published. She's obviously not having to have all of the financial strains that you are
Yes.
currently going through. But it's been interesting. I think that's why it's been good to have you on as the next episode, because it's sort of the parallel between the two and how the experiences can be so different. But yeah, like her, and even with her though, she hasn't only just started to get a team now, isn't she?
Oh, really?
Because I think a lot of people think, oh, when you're traditionally published, you're going to be given a marketing team and you're going to have all of this stuff. But she's had to create like a lot of the stuff on her own, even
I've heard
though
of
she's
that,
being like published, and she's going to be in.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Because she came with the book.
Oh, yes,
picture,
I saw
but
her, yeah.
she that's the stuff that she'd done herself. So. Even though she was going down that traditional publishing route. So yeah, it's interesting to kind of hear the difference. Even though we're not writing a book, we're not publishing a book, it's still interesting to know what the different sort of processes are.
Obviously, we did have a little bit of a chit chat before about your sudden growth that you've had, and you've got quite a lot of followers on your old Instagram and TikTok and whatnot. Have you been surprised with what people have been engaging with?
Yeah, because I always just came onto the platform thinking it's such a serious space to be in. Everyone is just super serious or very negative, and I was like, that's just, I've been through loads of therapy. I don't need to be dealing with that online as well as in person with people. So I was like, I don't want to be that person. I kept thinking of my brand, and I was like, what do I want to be known for? How do I want to be portrayed on socials? And I was like, I want to be fun. I want to be myself, and I want to be open and honest about the whole process, because I do feel like there's quite a lot of people that gatekeep about what goes on and how much things cost, and how much work it takes, because people see the shiny version of, oh, you've released a book, amazing, or you've grown this social following, but they don't see how much work it takes to get to that point. And yes, you do kind of live on your phone a little bit, which is annoying. But at the end of the day, if I wasn't doing that, I wouldn't be in a position now where, I'm kind of building a readership of people that do really like my style of writing. And I didn't know that my style of writing was different, but I've been really trying to find the people that would be more engaged with my writing. And it seems to be working. And I think sharing snippets online of the story, which some people just don't like sharing their work. I get it because of the use of AI. But I'm like, well, I want to share it, so that's the only way people are going to know what to expect and whether they're engaging with it or not.
Especially because it's such, like you were talking about before, it's such like a different way of writing, it's such like a different reading experience, that you want to set people up for that.
Yeah, because otherwise I want to give them their expectation. This is the expectation of what you can get from me as a person as well as my writing. And so when you pick up that book, you're not going to be deflated that it's something totally different. You're going to know that that's the expectation. So I've met the expectation for you. Hopefully I've surpassed it, but at least if I've met it, then that's brilliant. And so, yeah, it's been a long, hard journey from September when I started out. I didn't think I'd ever get to this point where, one, I would even self-publish, or two, have the following that I'm gaining. But it just shows that there are people out there that want to read something a little bit different.
I think people are also like so interested in the process of how you've gone, and I think it's very typically British to not talk about things about like money and the real hard work that you have to do, because a stiff upper lip and we just crack on with it. And I just think because nobody does that and that you've done it, I found it so fascinating, like all the stuff that you talk about. And I love the fact that you were saying before that you're like, this isn't normal. What I'm doing is not normal. Don't expect every indie author to do this. And I think when you've got like people that really want to get into writing and stuff like that, and then they social media sets all these like unrealistic expectations.
Absolutely.
And so you're like, I know I'm doing this, and it's very rare. If you want to do it differently, kind of thing.
Yeah. And I mean, when I went down the querying route in January, and I got 80 rejections, pretty much 80 rejections. I was like, oh crap. Okay, maybe I'm not good. Maybe this isn't for me. But then the snippets that I was sharing online, people were wanting to read it. So I was like, okay, maybe I should self-publish. And then I started going down the researching route of, oh my God, if I want to put my name out there and have my name attached to this, I want to give a certain quality that comes with it. And so I was like, how can I get that quality across without being traditionally published. And then the more I researched about it, the more I was like, oh my God, the more you know, the less you know. Like, there's so much that goes into it. And I was like, I need to give people a realistic expectation of what comes with self-publishing. You don't have to go down the extreme that I'm going down. And I have had some videos come out where people have said, oh, why are you so special? I'm doing everything in a traditional way. You're not special for doing it this way. I'm like, okay, but are you doing 2.5 grand's worth of PR boxes? Are you doing all of the social media? Are you doing the podcast? Are you going into bookshops? Are you doing X, Y, and Z like a traditional publisher would do? I was like, that's how it's different. That's just another level which comes with more work, more mental capacity that you're having to use to get that out there. And it's not for everyone, but I wanted to show people, you know, you're with me on the journey to get this book out there. You'll see everything that goes into it. Will I do it for the next book? I don't know, because it's a lot of work that I've been doing the last 4 months, and it's taken a lot of time away from family and just my mental headspace. I'm just like, I need to make sure that the next book is still going to be a good quality, but can I reasonably get everything out? Because I need to make money back first to be able to put that money back out there to, you know.
I think as well, because obviously you said that, you know, you get so immersed in everything you're reading, and this new book that you're reading, the character is obviously having an effect on you. Do you have, like, because obviously you're a mum, you've got a family, like, have you got somebody who pulls you out of those dark spaces? Or, like, what do you do to, like, ground yourself to be like, I'm back to...
Music.
Yeah.
Music is a big part of it. Yeah, I've got one song at the minute that is just on loop for hours, to get in the same frequency as this person. As soon as I heard that song, I was like, oh my God, the ending came, and I was like, I have to get this out. And so that's on, but when I'm not writing, I have to mentally switch to a different style of music to try and pull me out of it. It's taken a little while to get used to it, because I've only just really realised that this is what I'm doing. But I've learned that the more I'm writing this way, the more my neuroplasticity is changing, and therefore the more intense those feelings are becoming. So I'm really having to work hard to pull out of it. My husband is there, of course, but I don't have friends. You know, I'm a very introverted person naturally, so I don't call anyone up and go, oh, I really need to talk about this. I've got my sister-in-law, Leanne, who's my PA, and I'll share snippets with her, but she's got her family, she's got her life, you know. And so my husband's there to talk to, but majority of the time it's just me. It's like, right, I've got to pull myself out of this deep dark hole to get, but then I've always done that, you know. When my parents passed away, it was always down to me to get myself out of, you know, the mental headspace that I was in. So yeah, it's a lot of work that comes with doing it this way, and I don't know if I'm going to go to this extreme for the next one. But then a part of me is like, well, I've set the bar now, I'm going to have to do it.
But also you've done it, haven't you? Like, once you've done it, you know which bits the bits you've enjoyed and the bits that, like, did what you want them to do, and you kind of got out of it, and the bits that you've kind of done and thought, like, I didn't get out as much as I put in, and so you can kind of
know where to target. So I've spoken to, I've made an agent friend who's lovely, absolutely lovely. She's been along for the journey with me. I've been like, oh, I feel this way, is this normal, blah, blah, blah. And so she's been helping me a lot that side. But she's also telling me, you know, you're setting the bar for the next books. So what you're doing now is setting the foundation for future books that are to come. And I had the same with someone at Ingram Spark, because they invited me to go and have a look at the print shop floor, which was amazing to see how the books are made. And she said the same thing. She was like, the first book is really, really important to set that bar. And then any future books that come after that, it's like easy. So I'm hoping that's going to be the case with this one.
Fingers crossed. And you never know, if you build, like, we were talking to Sophie, who came on a few weeks ago, and who works in publishing as well as being an author. But so she was saying that there's plenty of books that, you know, are published, you know, indie authors, indie publishing, and then get this huge following and become really successful, and then they go back and then become published. What did she say? Diabound, was it?
Yes, that was
enormous, huge, everywhere, every bookshop, everyone's read it. Actually, I haven't read it, but most people have read it. But that was indie published initially, and now
same with Kerry Lake. She was indie published, wasn't she?
Yeah.
And Dagger Mouth.
Yeah.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, so you never know. You're setting a new trend with a new way of writing and a new way of kind of doing things, and then the following will. The following's already there.
Yeah, and I think the whole mindset I have, or the goal that I want, is to change the way people read. Because I'm like, there is so much slop that's coming out now, or so much that seems so samey, that I'm like, it's not that I'm actively trying to be different. I'm like, there is a different type of reading that you can experience, and you don't have to have everything being the same. You don't have to have shadow daddies. You can have really complex topics being discussed in a very visceral way. So you can really, although you may not have experienced something, you can experience it through that character in a really, really visceral way. So that's what I'm trying to do, is change the market. And I know some traditional publishers might not like that, but
well, they'll like it when it takes up, won't they?
But it's funny because I've had a top 5 agent in the UK reach out.
Oh, amazing.
She's already read the manuscript, or I'm assuming she has. I'm still yet to hear from her. Might not after this. And then I've had my agent friend, she's read the first 3 chapters from the next book, and she's already wanting the manuscript for that one.
Oh, wow.
So there is interest there, but it's amazing how people think, well, if you try and go down the traditional route and it doesn't work, that's it. And it's not always the case. You've got to keep pushing and keep showing. Keep showing that you are a force to be reckoned with, and then they'll take you seriously. So I'm always trying to give that confidence to people that you don't have to listen to what other people say. They're not necessarily always right.
Yeah.
And as long as you believe in yourself and your writing, and you are happy to work hard, you can do it. And if that means that you do it on your own, then that is fine. You can do it to your capacity that you're able to do it at. You know.
Yeah, that's so exciting. So, I mean, it's not that long until, I guess you find out what people really think. I know you've obviously had your initial people, your ARC readers and that kind of thing, but it's only 2 weeks away from it being published. So how are you feeling about that?
I'm anxious. I'm excited,
yeah,
but then I'm also over it.
You're like, let's just get it over.
I'm like, it's been 4 months. You know, I'm way past it. I'm so engrossed in another book.
Yeah.
But I'm excited to see what people think to a different style of writing.
Yeah.
Nerve-wracking, but I'm excited. And to have just so many people have it in different media. I mean, I've had so many people purchase the paperback, the hardback, they're waiting on the special edition, they've buy the audiobook. They're just getting all of these different mediums, and I just can't, I just didn't expect that when I was initially going to set out to self-publish that was going to happen. And the fact that people send me comments or DMs and they're like, I've really connected with this character on such a way that I've never experienced, or I've never had that connection with another person, but I felt it with this character, and that is what it's all about for me.
Yeah.
So I just hope that people connect with her in that way that I did when writing her.
I just, like, obviously, you know, we've sort of hinted at it, but Audible released your book early.
Yeah.
As much as that might be a bit of a disappointing thing because of the launches and everything, did you suddenly go like, oh shit, what the hell do I do? Do I just pop everything out for available now?
So I got a message from my sister-in-law saying, I bought it. And I was like, what do you mean you've bought it? Why are you buying it? Because you don't have to listen to me. You listen to me when you come and see me. And she said, no, I want to support. She's like, but I was like, how have you bought it? She went, I don't know, it's available. And I was like, what the fuck? And then I had some other people message me on socials, and they were like, I'm listening to chapter 2. And I'm like, how are you listening to it right now? And then I researched it, and it said that if you don't sign the exclusivity agreement with them, so you don't lock into 7 years, you can't dictate whether you get a pre-order. You just don't get it. So I didn't know that.
Oh, so they just do it when they're ready. They're like, now we're ready.
Even if you'd like declared that it was only going to be available on this particular day, they would just still.
So apparently someone reached out to me and she said she signed the exclusivity agreement and set the pre-order date, but they still, that's apparently just a guesstimate. you ask for that, and they don't necessarily grant it. But I was told that, or I read that it takes a month to process. So I was like, brilliant, 9th of June, it's locked in, it's done. It will be available hopefully for the 10th of July. And then I was like, oh my God, it's released 2 weeks early, what am I and I couldn't pull it back.
You just got to go with the flow.
I just got to go with it. So by the time I try and reach out to someone who would maybe get back to me, people are going to be buying it.
Yeah.
And so I was like, right, I'm just going to have to ride the wave, which is really, really annoying because sales on the day of release are so important for any author, but more so for a self-published author, because you want all of those to hit so they dumps into the algorithm. But I've had some really good reviews, so I can't really complain that you know it's been released early. And the ARCs that are still reading, they're able to do an immersive read, which is even better. So yeah, I can't really complain, but it's a bit shit.
Yeah, well, it's just a bit unexpected, isn't it? Like, you're just
Yeah.
not what you'd planned for, because you want to kind of do the big launch and everything all at the same time. And
Would that happen to Sarah J Maas? Probably not.
Probably not. But
probably
then
not.
There's so many little things. Like, so I want to talk about the numbers a little bit, because I don't think people realise. The audiobook, that cost me £1,200 to make.
Yeah.
And bear in mind, I didn't pay for a narrator because I did it all myself. It would have been so much more. I will only get 30% royalty on each sale.
Wowza.
And I don't get to dictate the price. Audible dictate it. So they base it on the genre, they base it on the amount of hours it is. So they're charging it out to £18.99 or whatever it is. I get 30% of that. So I make £5 something.
Wow.
And then don't even get me started on the paperbacks. The paperbacks are the worst performing royalty.
Really? Even worse
Yeah.
than the hardbacks? And
Yeah.
really? Oh, wow.
Because at least with the hardbacks, your set price can be a little bit higher.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because of the printing cost.
Yeah.
But the paperbacks through Ingram Spark, because they go wholesale as well as print on demand, you have to give a discount of 50%. They prefer you have 55. Some bookshops won't even take your book if you don't have 55%. So I gave 50, and so that meant that I make £1.20 on a paperback.
Oh, my God.
So I'd have to sell 1,000 to make £1,000.
Yeah.
Which for an indie author is quite uncommon to sell that.
Yeah.
Huge, yeah.
And then the hardbacks are, I think, maybe £2 a hardback, and the special editions, they cost £15 to print. So if you
Wow.
want, so my special editions are going to be artwork for the hardback cover. There's going to be a jacket. There's going to be sprayed edges, and that to print is £15 per book.
Wow.
And so you've got to charge, at least. I mean, you've then got to factor in the shipping. So I'm not going to hold stock. So I'm not going to buy the stock. They're going to do print on demand for me. So I'm probably going to make around about £5 on a book,
Oh, my God.
which is obviously better than
Yeah.
thingy.
Yeah,
But then
yeah.
even the ebook, you're only making, I think it's 70% royalty. So at least that's better. But then ebooks are cheaper. So
Yeah.
ebooks are like
Oh, sorry.
£4.99, £5.99 or whatever it is. So, yeah, I don't think people realise just how little you can make on
Yeah,
books.
God.
So I had someone who told me that they were launching their ebook at 99 cents, and she was like, "Oh, I've had 1,000 pre-orders." And I was like, "Oh my God, that's amazing." But then also you're like, well, actually that equates to after the royalty you're making X amount.
Yeah.
But it helps with the algorithm,
Yeah.
but it doesn't necessarily help with money.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you got to balance like when to do algorithm pushing and when
Yeah.
to. Yeah, that's really.
And I spoke to my friend at Ingram Spark, and I was like, is that the right thing to do? Should I be doing that? And I was like, my perspective, my psychology with it is that undervalues the book immediately.
Yeah.
But then I get the process of why you would do that. And she was like, no, I wouldn't do it until you have your next book out. And I was like, yeah, that makes sense logically for me. But I get it, but it's just there's no money in it. You've got to do
Yeah.
it for the love of wanting to connect with people in a different way, and for the love of writing. There's
Yeah.
just nothing in it.
Yeah, that's
And then when you think that you've got like PR boxes that are £2,500, and you don't necessarily know if you're going to make any of that back in terms of sales, or if they're even going to post about it, because it's all marketing costs at the end of the day. And there's just so much that just keeps coming out. Like even the I don't know if you know this about the author events. So I'm doing the Newcastle Once Upon a Time event in September. That's £250 just to attend.
Oh, so you don't get to do it?
No, you don't do it for free. They don't say, oh, you come and do the
And then you
event.
get to do
No, you have to pay for a table. So it's like £250, and then you got to buy stock
yeah to have.
to have in, and then you got to get signage because you want the stand to look nice,
Yeah.
and then you got to pay for accommodation and travel.
Yeah, because from Newcastle, from where you are, damn.
That's crazy.
That's a lot.
That is a lot.
And it's the same. It's not been announced yet, but I'm going to another big event in April next year.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing. £200. Got to bring your own stock or do pre-order links. Bring all your own signage. I get a free guest pass though. So that's good.
Yay!
So my sister-in-law can come with us. But yeah, I think people see all the shiny side and they don't see the actual physical toll of what the monetary cost that it takes to do.
God, so I suppose that puts extra pressure on the launch as well, because it's like on the one hand so exciting to be releasing this book that you've put so much effort into, but on the second hand, like there is the financial element of it of like, you need to sell your book, you need to kind of get people buying it. So
And I sold the 20 PR boxes that I had left over from stock. But then I ran out of some of the stock, so I had to buy some of it back in to fulfill those orders.
Yeah.
But then also the money that I made from that, which was amazing, that went straight on the author events.
Yeah.
So I was like, I've not seen that. It's just gone in
You
and
just
out.
pump it back into your business, really.
Yeah.
You're kind of like pedaling uphill at the moment, and you're just kind of hoping you'll get to the top of that hill, and then hopefully, you know.
I hope to make some more money because I've got to get another book out.
But I suppose that's where it all, like the effort that you've put into the social media, you've built a massive following. You've got like over 20,000 followers.
Is it?
Is it more?
yeah, I'm at 22 at the minute, and then I'm at almost 20 on TikTok.
Yeah, but like investing in doing that, you know, free in terms of like
time and
you've obviously got to put your time into it, but then uploading onto things like Instagram free. So that actually becomes very important, doesn't it, to like, you know, build up your or people's awareness of you, and people understanding people getting excited about it, so they're excited about the launch, and then, you know, the people with the money, the publishers, might start to look at that and be like, okay, that's quite a big following, that's quite, you know, that's obviously doing really well.
There's a lot of hype around you.
Yeah, there is a lot.
And I think people don't see that, you know, I have had to take a bank loan out, I have had to sell stuff to try and make this work.
Yeah.
And because some people have said to me, well, I can't afford to do that, and I'm like, no, I know, I feel you.
Can't be either, but we did it anyway.
I've had to borrow some money to be able to achieve it, and hope that it's going to work, and so I'm going to get some of it back. But I can see now why traditional publishers are so skeptical, or they're very wary about who they want to publish, because they've got to do all of this and then try and make some money. And I've been looking at this, because I'm a nerd, I've been looking at the stats around what it takes for, or what deems a successful launch for an indie author, and it's really, really low. It's like 300 sales is a good launch.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, I thought it'd be like a lot more. I don't know why I thought it would be not.
Well, I suppose like you know, for
bloody fly again.
I touched it.
It comes along in our podcast. It's
the same one. I suppose like if for an indie author, debut indie author, probably don't have as big a social media following as well. I don't know if like, you know, people put as much into it as what you've got. So I suppose like a lower social media following, lower awareness, kind of, you might lead to that lower sales. So hopefully in the opposite direction, because you've got that big following. I last weekend I went up, my parents live in Chester, so I went up there. I went to a little bookshop there, tiny little bookshop in a tiny little town in the middle of Cheshire, and I was talking about the podcast to someone that was browsing in the shop. I was like, have you heard of our podcast? That was quite aggressive. Anyway.
So like, damn, I'm supposed to get ahead of you.
That's what it was exactly like. But she, and I said, oh, we've got an author coming on the podcast. We've got Gemma Vale. And she was like, oh, yeah, I've heard of Gemma, yeah. So I think
that's pretty cool.
Quite well known.
You're everywhere, girl.
As far as I'm aware. That's not the first time that's happened as well.
Really? Well, I had a friend on socials she said to me, she went into her local Waterstones in Manchester, Piccadilly, and she said she asked if my book was going to be available, and they went, oh yeah, we've been discussing that in the Waterstones forum. And I was like, oh my gosh. So I was like, right, I'm gonna film my reaction of going into my local Waterstones to see if they're gonna do the same. No, they didn't do the same. It was so flat. I was like, I'm not gonna share this online. But I was like, are you gonna have this book? She was like, by who? By this person. I was like, no, Gemma Vale. And she's like, no, but we can order it in. I was like, yeah, order me a copy in, please. I was like, oh my god, this is so embarrassing.
And what's the name? Shall I do it? Gemma Vale.
You had to come up with a fake name.
And I was like, I gave her my real name, and I was like, I was like, this is so sad. But people are finding out about it. But also, I've been reaching out to so many bookshops. I've been reaching out to Waterstones. There's a direct email that you can send out to Waterstones. I've been reaching out to them anywhere I can. And people don't realise that when you go through Ingram, they do wholesale. So your book will show on TJ Jones, it will show on Waterstones, it will show on Barnes & Noble. And people are like, how are you getting it there? And I'm like, I'm not doing anything. I'm just putting it on Ingram, and they distribute it elsewhere.
Oh, right. Okay.
That makes sense, because one of the questions we're going to ask you is how did you get it into like Waterstones? What we would see is like a traditionally published people only kind of thing. And so that makes sense. So you upload it to Ingram Spark, and then those bookshops will go on to Gardner's or Ingram, and they will order direct. So I was told not to try and, although it's great for the bestseller list on Amazon to push people to order from them,
if you get people to push to order from Waterstones or other places, they'll see this surge in pre-orders, and then they'll go, oh, we'll stock the book. So that's how you can physically get it in the store.
That makes sense, because we did an interview. We interview all sorts of people. We interviewed a couple of people that work at the local bookshop in Tame here, and they were talking about their process of how they
get the books,
how they sort of like order the books and do all that. We're learning so much, aren't
I
we?
know.
We're learning so much about the process.
It's no secret that you are completely immersed in what you're doing, and you feel all the feelings, you taste all the taste.
Yeah, taste those books.
Is it something that you learnt to develop, or was it something you just all of a sudden was like, oh my god, I've unlocked a new hack, I can do this now?
Yeah, do you know what's really funny? For years I thought I was never good at anything. I was like, what am I good at? I was in finance for 10 years and I was like, I hate this. And then had kids and blah blah blah. And then I was like, I really love cooking. I was like, oh, I don't want to do anything about cooking. And then I got back into reading ACOTAR. And I was like, I really would love to try and write my own story. And then I was trying to like grab other characters from other books, and I was like, no. I was like, what am I drawn to? I'm drawn to dark, twisted things like Constantine, like Van Helsing or Underworld, those kind of things. And I was like, I've struggled with depression and blah blah blah, and I was like, I want to write a character like that. Immediately, that person came to mind, and it's really hard to describe, but I listen to a song and it's almost like I tune into this frequency of a character. I know them by the way that they feel more than I know anything else about them. I don't necessarily know what they look like, what they, anything. Personality traits, as soon as I start writing, it's like I'm interpreting the language of them that is coming through, and I just sit and write. I never learned how to craft stories. I never learned how to write sentences, do any of the syntaxes, similes, metaphors. I didn't even know what prose meant until probably like 6 months ago. And then I was like, when you start talking to other authors, you're like, hey, this is a bit weird. I'm not doing stuff as other people are doing. And then I researched then at that point, because I watched Brandon Sanderson's books about his podcast, his YouTube videos about how to write a fantasy world or whatever. And then I was like, Ray, I don't want to do that way. And I tried to plan everything meticulously because I like control. Hello, you.
Oh, here he is.
And then I was like, I can't do this. I need to just start at the start and just see where it goes. And then it's like, the more I'm doing that, the more immersed I am, and the more things come to me. Like, I've got 4 work in progresses at the minute. I'm writing 4 books.
And you just kind of go with the one that you're feeling in that moment, and you do that, and if something else comes to you, you might do something. Interesting.
So I heard this song for the psychological horror, and I was like, oh my god, I felt it so viscerally. I was like, I'm going to have to write the ending, and I never do that. And the way that she was feeling at the end was so intense. I had to get it out. And now I'm like, right, that's set the tone. I can write her so much darker than I've already started writing her. So then I edited the 8 chapters in a couple of hours. And when I edit, I just tweak. It's like going back to a memory. So I'm like, does that relate to the memory that I experienced? Yes or no? And I very rarely change scenes. It's just, that is what I experienced, that's it, that's staying. And so, and then I woke up one morning and I was like, oh my God, I need to get this out of me. And it was the character for the next goddess for book 3 of Daughter of the Night. And so I was like, right, first chapter, done. That's it. That's the feeling that I want to encapsulate. And then I was doing this competition for the underdog authors, and I read someone's book and it just hit me. I was like, right, this is the sensation, you need to keep with the sensation. And I wrote the first paragraph for another, it's a dark romance, but it's a duology. And I wrote that, and that's a male character. And I was like, right, okay, I'll come back to him at some point. But at the minute, this current character is so here, so present, that I just have to get her story out there. And I've set myself a stupid goal, because me being me, I'm like, why not see what I can
Why not?
do?
I've got nothing else going on.
Why not just? And I homeschool over summer holidays for my 2 kids.
Oh wow!
And we've got holidays planned. I've got my daughter's birthday party, and I'm like, why not? Why not just do this as
I've
well
got
as
5 minutes it's 3 o'clock in the morning. I can feel.
But the trouble is, as soon as I think something or say something, I'm like, that is what's going to happen. And now I can't move from that.
Yeah.
And so that will be shared kind of as soon as Daughter of the Night is released. because I don't want to take away from that launch.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's so hard to explain how I write. I feel the sensation. So this girl, I felt the pain, I felt the depression, the lonely thoughts, and I was like, right, I'm going to start writing her. And the opening scene came to me, and she's in a cemetery, she's burying someone, and it was like, bam, that's it, I'm in it, I'm in her, I'm doing it. And then it's like, right, turn the music off, I'm out of her, la 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 la, not needing to think of anything else. And then as soon as that music hits again, I'm like, right, honed in.
Back in.
I'm also very excited about all the other books that you've got coming.
Yeah.
I'm like, damn.
I mean, to be honest, I loved writing Daughter of the Night. It was my baby, you know, my first book. I poured so much of my own personality into Seren. And this book is so much better. I'm already like, oh my God, this is so much better. There's a line I wrote yesterday that was like, oh my God. I had to share it to my sister-in-law, Leanne. I was like, what do you think to this? And she was like, and I shared the ending to it with her. She was like, oh, spoiler. I was like, yeah, sorry. I've got to get it out. I've got to share it with someone. But yeah, it's fun, but it's also intense, super intense. And so I'm just drained with everything else.
I suppose that, and the more you learn about yourself and the way that you write and how you do things the way you do and why you do things the way you do, I think naturally, obviously, you know, as you kind of hone that skill and kind of harness it more, I suppose you will kind of develop and maybe feel like, you know, things are better or different as you kind of go along, maybe.
And it's funny because each character, like the goddess for the next book, she's so different. And as soon as I go into her passages, I'm like, oh, this is a really good story to write. She's so much more powerful. Like Seren was very timid, very introspective, very lyrical, flowery prose. The next book after that, book 2, which is... I haven't actually announced it yet.
Well, you can think about that on the way back.
Yeah.
And you can take it out if you don't want.
Depends on when this is going to be aired. I'm like,
Probably next week.
So I'll bleep it out. Everyone in the comments,
Secret.
guess what it's called.
We know, but you don't.
I've been really struggling to write his passages because I'm like, I haven't found the right music that encapsulates him. And so every time I sat down, I was like, nah, I'm not interested in this. And then the goddess for the next one, who's possessed, she's like fiery. It's super spicy. Like first page, there's spice, and I'm like, yes. And the sister-in-law was like, I think you might need to be careful that it's not going to turn into a porno. And I was like, no,
don't worry about that.
Don't worry.
Yeah, in fact, people will love it.
We'll love it. We'll
love it. A lot of the girlies will like it.
And then I've already got the last goddess planned, like a general outline. So the next goddess, I'm trying to figure out what I can say and what I can't say.
Don't worry, we can cut anything out that you think of on the way back. You're like, I shouldn't have said that.
The next goddess is, I wouldn't even know what trope it is.
You're making new tropes.
I'm making it up. I'm making it up as I go along. It's kind of like enemies to lovers, I suppose. And then the third goddess is lovers to enemies.
Ooh.
Yeah, there's a betrayal, and she's such a sweet character, so that's going to be very, very different to write from.
That's going to be hard to write.
Yeah.
if you're
Imagine
feeling
if you get,
that
so
emotion.
paranoid when you're writing it, and you're like, everyone's going to be betraying me.
Yeah.
Well, and it's also, I envisage it like Game of Thrones or Sarah J. Maas's ACOTAR, where you've got so many characters, but they've all got their own arcs, and there's all something going on. The next book I know is going to be the next goddess is going to be a lot harder to write because there's so many working things going on, but it's exciting. And then I've got a duology planned, which is dark romance, and that is going to be so fun because those characters keep coming at me, and I'm like,
In 2 ways more than one.
Darcy!
Sorry.
Cutting that out. I'm not having that in my podcast.
woof, woof. But yeah, and then I've got another one that is like, oh, I'd really love to do something with that, and like, oh, I need to just like.
Gosh, it sounds like there's so much going on.
There's so many worlds going on in your head.
So many worlds.
Yeah, so many. And sometimes I'll write two at the same time.
Yeah.
So I'll have.
That's mad.
Yeah, I know. Someone was like, quite a few people have said, have you got ADHD? And I was like, no. Maybe I have actually. Maybe I've actually got autism because apparently synesthesia only affects 4% of the population.
Right.
Really?
And because I am so visceral with it, some people have a few senses that they deal with, whereas I deal with all of it. That's even rarer. And I was like, yeah, maybe I have got autism, because that's linked to autism as well. So I'm like,
Really?
maybe I need to get checked out, because that would help me with quite a lot.
Yeah.
But I had I was almost about to say the title then. I had The Next Goddess, and then I had this psychological horror, and I had them both open. And I was like, right, I'm feeling this one and I'm feeling that one. It's just chaos.
So instead of being a mood reader, you're like a mood writer.
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah, in a way. Ooh,
Yeah.
How exciting. Shall we move on to our quick fire questions?
fire.
Okay.
Although these never end up being quick fire,
No.
do they, Lizzie?
So we're sticking with your synesthesia.
We're interested in
So
that.
I just think I've never met anybody who's got it.
I've met somebody who's got the opposite, aphantasia.
Yeah.
It would be interesting actually to see
I'll put you in a ring and see who wins the fight.
no, for someone with aphantasia to read the book and
They
see
have.
how.
really?
So what did they say?
Yeah, they can visualise.
Really?
Maybe
it
we
can
should get
cure
her to do it.
aphantasia.
And I've had some people who are really dyslexic who've read it, and they've said, I've actually been able to read the story.
So, dyslexic. Right,
Stop
I
staring, I
read your
guess.
book in like 2 days?
Yeah, you did.
I honestly just flew through it.
Isn't that strange? Because the text is no different to what you
Yeah.
read from...
And it was my first Kindle read that I've done in a very, very long time as well. So I didn't know if that was it. But
Did you read it in the dyslexia fund?
I don't like that. That doesn't help me. I don't know how that helps you, but I don't know.
I don't have dyslexia.
Hannah's neurotypical, so I mean, there's questions.
People have
suspicions. But you, on your Kindle, the dyslexic thing, when I tried to read it, I was just like, ugh. But when I read it on Tom's one, because I've got Tom's old Kindle, so it's not new and fancy where it has that option. But I do the dark background with the white writing, which also thought was quite, kind of goes with the dark vibes. But I literally flew through your book so quick.
That's strange.
I know. But maybe it's because I was like, you're saying about how you felt like it was a bit like VR. I did feel like that. Like I didn't picture, I was Seren when I was reading it. And I was just like doing everything and like everything. Yeah. I literally flew through it. I really enjoyed it.
But then I didn't realise how small she was until she got printed, and I was like, oh, she's tiny. So the prequel, which is the next book, that was going to be a novella. And I was like, no, because that's going to be even tinier. It's going to be half the word count.
Yeah.
I was like, I can't do that now. They're going to have their own... pressure. They're going to have their own novel. But that's more exciting now, because I'm like, okay, now I can delve in deeper with
Yeah,
stuff.
get into it.
I've
Anyway,
gone
back
past
to
the question.
back to the quick fire.
So, what is your strongest sense that you write with then?
Oh my God, all of it.
All of them. They're all quite equal.
Yeah. So the scene, I wrote a big scene today, like a big scene, and everything was just firing. It's like I visualize everything that's going on. I'm like, right, I'm literally sitting there going like this, as if I'm feeling it. And I was like, what would that feel like? Or how would that smell? Or I think I put something like, what is it? Not desire. Desire has a taste of its own, and it tastes like vanilla, or something like that. And I was like, and I then had to Google, would desire have a vanilla scent? And it said, yeah. And I was like, oh, that's really weird. So they all fire at the same time. So like silence has a weight, or like a mass to it, or blood has a sound.
Oh.
Yeah. So there's the last scene that I wrote for the ending of the book. The first thing you hear is the blood. But blood doesn't have a sound. Blood is a liquid. Or what else did I write? Something has no, revenge should taste sweet, but it doesn't. It tastes bitter, acidic, like iron.
Oh, that's
And I
so
was like-
interesting.
And then there's a reason why it tastes like that. But yeah, they all fire at the same time.
Did you taste it?
Yeah, kind of.
Oh,
That's
I like
good.
this. Is like a new little superpower.
Yeah, I feel like
it does feel like a
I'm-
superpower.
I feel like I'm a freak now.
No, superpower.
But I'm like, this is so weird that it just flows. I very, very rarely change a sentence, and I'm like, as soon as I write something, I'm like, oh my God, that is a caption that I need to use for socials, or that is going on the PR box for the next book. I'm like, that is it.
Yeah, and you can't change it because it's like, well, that is what it.
That's it.
That's the sensation. You can't just change that. That's what you felt in that moment. So it's like, well,
so it's going back to a memory. It's like did I feel that am I interpreting the language correctly for that memory? And it's like yes or no. Majority of the time it's yes.
Yeah.
It's just the odd word that maybe need to be changed.
Okay, on to the second, not very quick fire question, because they never are. I don't know why we still call it that. They're just more normal questions. Which authors inspired you the most? Have you got certain authors that you've kind of taken inspiration from, or is this so different, it's not really...
I've seen you've got the books already. Carissa Broadbent.
Oh my God. I just love Carissa Broadbent.
So I don't know if you've read Daughter of No Worlds yet.
I've only read
those ones.
Serpent, and I haven't even finished. You can see my bookmark still in the ashes of the Starkest King.
Okay. I loved Six Scorched Roses.
I loved it, yeah.
But it was so good for a novella, wasn't it?
It was so good for novella, and I loved it that it focuses on a couple of characters, and then when those characters appear in the next book, they appear briefly, and you're like, oh my God, it's like so significant because you know the backstory. I absolutely.
Daughter of No Worlds, that gave me the inspiration for Possession, because Tisana is possessed by something, and I was like, oh my God, the way she wrote Possession was amazing, and I was like, I really want Seren to be possessed by something, and it was the goddess. And so I take huge inspiration from her. Other than that, I mean, I like Hannah Witton. I don't know if you've ever read The Foxglove King. It's about
no, but I have heard of it, but no, I haven't read it.
That was really good. But no, there's no one else. I've not read anyone else that writes like me.
Yeah.
But I've seen ideas that I'm like, oh, I really like that theme, or I really like X, Y, and Z.
Yeah.
But Carissa is the main one, really.
Yeah. She is the main one.
You're obsessed. Queen.
I'm obsessed.
Yeah. She's the queen.
She's obsessed. Oh, great. That's a good answer.
Well,
that was
as your last question, we do like to ask all of our guests this.
Yeah,
because we do have multiple guests now. So if you could visit any fantasy land, you are equipped with all the things to survive in said fantasy land.
Yeah.
We have to footnote
Caveat.
that. Okay. You will not die.
Okay. Oh, well, okay.
Nice. As long as it's not your own, where would you go?
Doesn't have to be a specific one. It could be like a type of land, like...
But what's it called? Mark Lawrence's The Book That Wouldn't Burn. So it's so different to anything I've ever read. It's kids that live in a library, but it's a never-ending library.
Oh, wow.
And there's doors that lead to other parts of the library, and they've got librarians, which are robots, but you go to them to ask certain things, but then there's this pool, and the pool is a portal into another dimension completely. It's like, and they've got this massive machine that they step into with a book, and that's the only way that they can live through others' lives because they're trapped in this library. But that's the only way that they can live in a different world, is going into this machine and putting the book in there. And it was just so like, this is so weird and so cool and so not like anything I've ever seen. That is the place I'd want to be. I mean, who wouldn't want to be around loads of books all day?
Yeah, that's cool. A little bit themes along the same lines of The Midnight Library by Matt Haig.
Yeah, I've got that, but I haven't read it yet.
Yeah, it's good. It's a similar thing in that you live lives through different books, but it's kind of your life in different books, if you see what I mean. But yeah, that sounds really... Yeah, that's
good.
It's a very good series. I really liked his series.
Yeah.
Some people have said that they didn't understand it because it was a bit like there's two different
Quite a new
worlds living
concept.
at the minute in the same time, but they converge at one moment. And I cried at the ending. It's the only book I've ever cried at because I was like, that's not how it was supposed to be. It was supposed to be this way, but it wasn't, and that broke my heart. Which I think the book is called the Book That Broke Her Heart or something.
But
yeah, that is the world I'd want to live in.
Cute. Well, thank you for coming on. That is the end of our questions now.
Yeah,
Screw the questions. I don't know if we asked all our questions or not. So, final thing before we kind of remind everyone about the book and the release date and that kind of thing is we have a little bit of a side hustle, which I mentioned before about the book calligraphy.
Yes.
So we have a little thing for you.
Aww.
Here we go. So these are for you. They're yours. I couldn't choose, so I did two. There you go.
Oh.
They're for you.
Thank you.
Oh, no, don't. Oh, we're going to have to put this out on the podcast. No one's ever tried my calligraphy before.
Oh my God. These are some of my favourite quotes as well.
I know, well, you posted them on your Instagram, so...
I'm going to have to frame these. Thank you so much.
Oh my god.
It's funny because there's just, when you just read a passage and you're like, I remember exactly where my head was when I wrote that. And I'm like, oh my god. To see it then like in print is just so nice.
Right, let's get some tissues and then let's do the final bit.
Yeah, so she hand does them with a little
so
ink
cool.
and quill. Yeah, so
I should have given you the dragon one. It's much less emotional. That was what I drew the dragon for. Would you like a tissue?
Thank you.
That was what
It's such a dying art as well, though, calligraphy.
Yeah, well, I've got my, so I do it there, that's my grandpa's writing desk. My grandpa's alive and well, don't worry, he wasn't using it. So I saw on your Instagram that, you'd posted some quotes and your ARC readers' favourite quotes and things, and obviously it had to be shorter because not much fits on those pages. But.
Well, it's the same with the book plates. I was like, put your little quote down. I was like, oh my god. Actually, when I was writing them, I was like, this is...
Write down the whole
book. Some of them
book.
are quite long.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's so cool.
Yeah,
and I'm already excited to see what other people's favourite quotes are going to be, because they're all going to be so different.
It's like, well, send them my way and I'll write them for them.
And then I'll just be in floods of tears.
Yeah. I'll be writing them like, they'll be like, why is my book quote all stained? I'm like, it's just all the emotion
You're
on
feeling
the page.
it. You've got synesthesia as well.
It's coming through. So, can you remind us the title of your book and the release date?
And where you can get it.
And where you can get it. Which,
oh my god, okay.
So many places.
So it's Daughter of the Night, out on the 10th of July. You can get it anywhere. Amazon, Waterstones, TJ Jones, all online. It's paperback, hardback, ebook, audiobook, Spotify, Audible.
Everywhere.
Everywhere.
You've got to miss it.
Special editions are coming. I'm just waiting for the artwork to be finalised, which should hopefully be this week. And then I'm hoping, I think people have already pre-ordered them because for some reason Waterstones are showing the special edition with the same cover, but the price is different.
Right.
So you can kind of pre-order that, but yeah, the special editions are probably going to be out more so on launch date or maybe the week after.
And a good one to get a special edition for because the artwork is...
It's going to be good. Yeah.
And on the normal cover as well.
Oh, she's doing everything now. She's already got the next book.
Oh,
yeah, she's already working on the next book. And she messaged me yesterday and she was like, she's reading it. And she's like, oh my God, have you booked any other character art? And I was like, no, because it's already so expensive. I was like, no. And she's like, I really want to do, because Seren, spoiler, Seren likes to sketch or like draw.
Yeah.
She's like, I really need to do a charcoal version. And I
Oh
was like,
wow, that would be
That
so
would be
good.
so cool. Oh my God, get one of those, put those, and you can have a display, a whole thing. Yeah.
So the artwork for the special edition will be both the main characters, one on each side, no text, pure artwork, and then some really nice sprayed edges that we're working on.
Amazing, cool, okay, amazing. That'll be so good. I'm so excited. So not long to wait now, only a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Or even less by the time this goes out.
Yes, it will
Maybe be a week or so.
I will put links to all of your stuff in the description, so please go and follow Gemma and support her book. It's very important to pre-order.
Very important to pre-order.
Very important for any author. More so indie authors,
Yeah. Well, thank you everybody for watching. Please go and follow all of our socials. We are on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube Shorts, Spotify, and that is it.
Yes.
That is all. Wonderful. Well, thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for coming.
It's been amazing. We'll see you. Well,
See you next
maybe
time.
you could come back on and we can debrief.
You'll be too big time then.
Never.
We can debrief about how this has all gone, how you're getting on.
Yeah.
Oh,
Watch this space.
Good. Well, thank you for watching. We'll see you soon.
See you next time. Bye.
Bye.